Welcome to the Customer Culture Podcast with your host, LaTanya Washington. More companies are educating themselves on the nature of their consumer through the Customer Cultures training program, and so can you. In this podcast, LaTanya gives you tips on how to give the best customer experience. Let's go.
Hello, this is LaTanya Washington, the founder of the Customer Culture, educating you on the people that you serve because it is the customer culture way. On last week, we talked about understanding various cultures in customer service, and we talked about the neutral versus emotional cultures and gave examples such as the Japanese and the British cultures. We talked about the Netherlands, Mexico, Italy, and Spain. And so today we're going to talk about universal versus particularistic cultures. So people in universal cultures want everyone to be treated equally. They expect the same rules to be applied to everyone and object if anyone violates that. In such cultures, it becomes important to focus on rational arguments and treat customers according to preset rules and regulations. For example, you'll find that in the United States, Canada, the UK, Australia, and in Sweden. Customers in particularistic cultures give priority to relationships, and thus you have the responsibility to build up relationships with your customers. You need to give preference to loyal customers, and even the ones that you may see that come in from time to time. You always want to make sure that you take care of your customers, especially as we just said, take care of your loyal customers. For example, you'll find this in Venezuela, Indonesia, China, South Korea, and in Russia. So now let's look at the low versus high context cultures. Different cultures have different levels of intuitive understanding, which can be either high understanding or low understanding. Let's talk about it. In low context culture, people believe in simple, clear, and straight communication. They want to avoid any sort of confusion. In such cultures, they want you to be precise and simple in your communication. For example, United States, and the Netherlands, Canada, and Germany. So when we look at the high context cultures, people can read between the lines, and you need not explicitly mention everything. In such cultures, you need to pay attention to both what customers say and what they don't say. For example, Japan, Indonesia, Russia, and France. And so when we look at this, look at all this information that we derive just from reading up on the different cultures, just by opening up a book, just by Googling this information. Look how people operate in different geographical areas. So I say to you all, especially if you find yourself traveling on a consistent basis, read up on the culture that you know you are about to visit. It's nothing worse than to offend a culture that you went over to visit. I mean, when you start seeing eyebrows go up and faces change and they're looking at you strange, you realize, oh goodness, I said something wrong or I did something wrong. And so always be prepared, especially if you find yourself traveling, and especially too, when you're working in the customer service industry, you're going to deal with a lot of people. You're going to deal with a lot of cultures. And it's always great to get a better understanding of who you're dealing with, their backgrounds. Even we realize, even as we say here in the United States, we are a melting pot. But never forget, people still have backgrounds. They have different experiences. They still have an upbringing, and that upbringing has a culture. All right. So I just wanted to touch bases on that for you this week. This is some good stuff. I know I love studying different cultures, and I hope you do too. Once again, this is Latanya Washington, the founder of The Customer Culture. For more information about us, please visit us at thecustomerculture.com. You have an amazing day.